Folks who don't actually know your background before you became famous science person who talks science, well, what exactly is your background? How did you get from where you were to being who you are?
I just liked learning about the universe ever since I was 9 years old. A first visit to my local planetarium, the Hayden Planetarium. I grew up in New York City. And I had the advantage of, well, the city offers the advantage that for many of the cultural institutions, if you do sort of the exhibits and the frontline things, you can do a deep dive. And at the American Museum of Natural History, which is the sort of the overarching institution that has the Hayden Planetarium, there were courses I could take. There were special sessions I could attend. And so it wasn't just the space show and an exhibit. I could continue to probe the structure and nature of the universe, right from middle school on through high school. And that served my interest like really, really well. I went to the Bronx High School of Science, which, if I may, counts 8 Nobel laureates among its graduates, which equals the country of Spain, which is just crazy. I just looked that one up. That's kind of crazy. And went out to college, majored in physics, have a PhD in astrophysics, and this public stuff is really, it just happened to me. It's not like I was seeking it out. I'm still not seeking it out. I still just want to stay in the lab. But what happens is I realize that there's a hunger, there's an appetite for the universe out there, or there's an appetite for people who are in search of meaning in their lives. And religion has served that role for so many. Others who are not religious, or even if you are, people look up and just wonder, you know, where do we fit in this universe? Everyone's looked up, right? Maybe if you live in the city and you look up, you just see buildings. But between the buildings, there's sky. And it's part of what we are as humans. You know, we're one of the few animals that's completely comfortable sleeping on our backs. Just think about that. Maybe your dog can do it, right? But the dog is completely domesticated, so they're not worried that some other animal is going to eat their guts out while they're asleep. So I wondered whether in the earliest times, and we sleep at night, so we sleep on your back and at night, and if you wake up in the middle of the night, the sky is there. Think about it, if you're only facing down and you're asleep, you have no relationship with the sky. So one night you see, and then like the planets are in one configuration, and later on they're like in a different, and the moon moves. So I just wonder whether curiosity about the night sky is something that runs deep in our DNA.
So in a second, I want to ask you about the quest for meaning, particularly using science, because I think that there's a rich conversation obviously to be had, and you talk about it a lot in your book, Letters from an Astrophysicist. But first, ExpressVPN is an app I use to stay secure online. Why should you care about encrypting your data? Well, it's often easy